Hi everyone, thank you for joining what is going to be really quite a hardcore hips and glutes session. It's not going to be particularly long, but this kind of work is exactly what you need to be doing to really increase that stability through your seat and also the precision and accuracy of your leg aids. So let's get going. I hope you are warmed up. We'll just make sure everything is moving freely before you start. So I'd like you to have equal weight through your feet, soften through your knees. You're going to bring one arm up for a big breath in and then breathe out. So you take your arm down and round and up to the top. So big breath in, breathe out, and we'll do one more. Big breath in and breathe out. Bring that arm back down by your side. We're going to do the same with the other arm. Soft knees, reach up, big breath in and breathe out. Big breath in and breathe out. And one more big breath in and breathe out. Bring that arm back down by your side and let's go into some walking just to really get your hips on the move. So opposite arms and legs, gets the brain engaged as well, this one. And as you're doing this, think about your rib position. So ribs are sinking down so we're not getting that happening. Remember your middle part of your body is connecting your upper body and your contact and your lower body and your seat. And if you're finding that your ribs and tummy are swinging forwards, then you're losing all that connection out the front. It's not particularly helpful. Okay, let's go into the wide walking position. So just feet as wide apart as feels comfortable. You've also got to be balanced there, or hopefully if you are doing this sort of session anyway, your balance is going to be pretty good. And again, think about your rib position, but also now be focusing on keeping your body really still so you're not rocking from side to side. Okay, then bring your arms down, but keep your feet in that wide position. Soften your knees, arms out to the side. We're going to go over into a little stretch. So you're lengthening top fingers down to top toes, and then come back up. We're going to do the same thing to the same side, so over, and a good big stretch and lengthen. And then come up and we'll do one more. So yes, this is a kind of a stretching type exercise, but it's also getting your hips really primed. Let's go to the other side, over, stretch and lengthen. You're having to use the glutes, particularly on the side that you're weight bearing on, to hold you still as you enter into this stretch and lengthen. We're going to do one more to that side, good big stretch. Super. Okay, then we're going to go to the end of your mat with your feet together and your knees nice and soft. Put your hand on the front of your thighs, tuck your chin into your chest, and you're going to slide your hands down, curling up through your spine as you go. Pause at the bottom for a nice big breath in, and then breathe out. Slide your hands back up, tuck down with your bottom, and you're uncurling up through the whole of your spine until you get to the top. And again, chin into your chest, and this time try to feel that every single vertebra is moving one at a time. So your back is moving, you're not just relying on your hips for you to be able to get down to the floor. Nice big breath in, breathe out, bend your knees down onto your mat, and we're going to be starting off on your side. It's important, yes, this is a hips and glutes session, but it's important that your back is moving well, because otherwise you'll be overusing your hips and not using your back as much as you could do. We want that balance so that every bit of the body is doing its share. Okay, we're going to be doing your side kick. So I would like you into the capital L position, propped up on your forearm, legs in that capital L position, straight line, shoulders, headlights, knees at 90 degrees. Top hand onto your top headlight, and you're going to lift your pelvis off the floor. Pelvic floor onto floor 3, but keep relaxed through that shoulder. Float your top leg, and then you're going to be polishing an imaginary coffee table with the underside of that leg as you move it forwards and backwards. Now I'm moving purely from my hip. My knee is locked at 90 degrees, my pelvis isn't moving. So watch that you're not swinging through your knee, watch that you're not swinging through your pelvis. This is about precision of hip movement, precision of leg placement, really good control. You're also working hard on the leg that you are weight bearing on as well, so using your tummy muscles too. Remember to breathe and keep relaxed. So this is something I do talk about all the time. You're probably sick of me saying it, but it's important that you are relaxed even when you are working hard. Remember that your horse will pick up any tension that's coming down from you. So you want to maintain relaxation even though you're working really quite hard. We'll do a couple more of these. Okay, then we're going to bring that leg back down. Going to go onto your back, and we're going to start off with your scissors. A very similar movement. So have your feet comfortably away from you. Think about your rib position, so ribs are sinking towards your pelvis. Before you start, they're not swinging upwards. I suggest resting your hands onto your headlights, gives you that nice little bit of positional feedback. Pelvic floor onto floor 3. Then you're going to bring your legs up into tabletop, and we'll start off taking one foot down, back up, and take the other one down and back up. So you're alternating from leg to leg, making sure that you're moving from your hips and your knees are once again staying at 90. Then we're going to increase the difficulty, and we're going to have both legs on the go at the same time. Still moving from your hips only, keeping your knees at 90, and this bit isn't moving. So those ribs are sinking towards your pelvis, not getting this happening through your body. So your pelvis is still, your back is still, and ideally, hopefully, your pelvic floor is quietly working way onto floor 3. Okay, let's bring your feet down one at a time. We're going to move on to doing your hip twist. Same setup, but again, think ribs to pelvis. That's going to really help to keep you nice and stable through here. Pelvic floor onto floor 3, legs up into your tabletop position. You're taking one leg out, back up, and the other leg out, and back up. Do watch when you're going from tabletop with this exercise that you're moving the whole leg. You're not just twisting from the knee, you're really having to work to control the whole leg. But again, you're moving from the hip. So this bit is staying still. If you imagine you had a tray of drinks balanced on your tummy, you'd want that tray of drinks to still be in position with full glasses at the end of the movement. This is a wine glass exercise as well, so the knee that isn't moving, you want to keep that absolutely still. We'll do one more with each leg. Okay, then feet down one at a time. We're now going to turn onto the side that you haven't yet done, and we're going to go straight back into your side kick. So back up into that capital L position, top hand onto your top headlight, lift your pelvis, and then pelvic floor onto floor 3, relax that shoulder, float, and then you're polishing that imaginary coffee table once again. So keeping your hip, knee and foot absolutely level, making sure you move from the hip, not flapping around from the knee, not rocking from the pelvis. It's all about that precision of hip control. I think this is a really good exercise. If you're working on your flying changes, particularly your tempi changes, this is a really, really good exercise for that quick change of leg position as you go from change to change. It's a good one for simple changes as well. You want to have that really quick accuracy of leg placement without your body having to move. And you've probably all seen some riders when they're doing tempi changes, really their body's swinging from side to side. The more precise you can make it through your legs, the better for you and the horse, because you're not destabilising each other. Okay, let's bring that leg down, and we're now going to go onto your hands and knees. Okay, so you want to have your hands under your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips, pelvic floor onto floor 3. You're taking one leg out behind you, and you're going to do 5 circles one way, 5 circles the other way. Bring that leg down, and the same thing the other side. So this looks quite nice and simple. Don't worry too much about the counting. I'm pretty certain, because I'm talking, that my counting is going right out of the window, but do the best that you can. This is again about that precision of hip control, making sure that you're moving from your hip, not from the knee, not from the foot. And if you are like me, even though I've been doing this exercise for several years, I still find that one side, my left, much harder to do this on than the other. So you're not just focusing on the precision of the movement, but you're also trying to feel what's happening to your weight as you do this. So try to keep your weight fairly equally distributed through your hands and the knee that you're weight bearing on, and you're not leaning right off to one side in order to be able to maintain your stability. Let's do one more with each leg. Last one. Okay, then I'd like you to come up so that you are kneeling facing forwards, and we're going to do your side kick from this position. So we'll do a couple of just down and ups, and then we'll go into the full movement. So you're going to go down. It's the good old I'm a little teapot position. Here's your handle. And down again. You're aiming to get your leg pretty much horizontal if you can. Okay, the next one you do, if you can, I'd like you to stay there and see if you can do some gentle glutes lifts in this position. You don't have to do hundreds of these. If you start to get tired quite quickly, give yourself a breather, come back up. But if you can stay and do a few, that would be really, really good. Okie doke, let's come up and go to the other side. So give yourself a little bit more room, and we'll do again, go down and up just a couple of times so your brain gets the idea, your leg knows it needs to go out to the side, and then we're going to go down one more time, and if you can, stay there and see if you can do a few of those nice little glutes lifts. Give it a go. And again, if you need to have a breather, come back up. That's absolutely fine. This is a really, really hard exercise for both of your legs. So that's why we don't do too many of these. Okie doke. Come back up again, and then we're going to do a little hip flexor stretch. I will go sideways so you can see a little bit better. So into kind of a half kneeling position. Try to keep your shoulders over your headlights. Tilt your headlights upwards, and then keep that upwards tilt as you push your pelvis forwards, and you should feel it tightening down the front of the thigh that you are kneeling on, and then ease back off. And again, tilt your pelvis upwards and gently push forwards, keeping those headlights upwards, and ease back. And we'll do one more. Tilt upwards, push forwards, and ease off. Then we're going to swap and do the same thing with the other leg. Get your balance before you start, shoulders over your pelvis, tilt those headlights upwards, keep the upwards tilt as you go, feel the lengthening down this leg, and ease back. And again, tilt upwards, and push forwards, ease off. And we'll do one more this way, tilt upwards, push forwards, and ease off. And we're going to leave it there. That's a lovely way of just winding down, but you're still really working on your hip flexor control, so controlling that hip and pelvis position. We're not stretching, we're not making it longer, but we're making those hip flexors work through a nice controlled lengthening movement. So short and sweet, nothing too fatiguing, but it's really, really good for working those muscles around your hips for that precision of leg positioning in the saddle. Hope you found it useful. If you found some of those really hard, then there's certainly things that you want to be factoring into your exercise just a little bit more often. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. It's such a good thing when I see more people subscribing and enjoying these sessions. Look after yourselves, and I will see you very soon.